wrong link. Thank you guys for all for being here. If the other teachers in your subject area couldn't make it, please do let them know that we're going to record this session, inshallah. I'm also going to post these slides on the Google Classroom for teachers as well. And again, like I just mentioned to all the teachers here, I'm available all the time. You can call me, email me, text me if you have any questions about anything we've gone over or just to talk about your lessons as well. All right, let me figure out how to record. Am I the host? You're the host.
I already started recording, Sister Lena.
Oh, perfect.
As the host. Yep.
Okay, great. Awesome. So, Jazakallah khair. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome again. I'm going to jump right into it. This presentation is going to be a quick one through of different teaching strategies that will definitely help in classroom management. So the purpose is to effectively engage all the students in the classroom. We've heard many teachers are overwhelmed with the number of students in the classroom right now just because we don't have breakout rooms. And, you know, we might have these large classrooms throughout the year every now and then as well. It also helps to minimize discipline issues and distractions because when you're effectively managing your classroom, you don't have time in between for discipline issues and distractions. You can effectively use your time. So every single minute of the 40-minute class will be used wisely as opposed to spending 5 minutes, you know, struggling to get everyone back on track and restart, you know, the next part of your lesson. The activities and classroom management techniques are also important to connect with all of your students. So, and I'll mention this when we go through the slides, sometimes some of the methods that we're using, you'll notice that they're only, like if you're calling on students, you're only calling on a select few. But how can we effectively ask questions or encourage participation from everyone, even when we have a class of 60 or 50? It also validates students' perspectives and their answers, and it brings value to the class. Students feel like, okay, my teacher does call on me. I do participate. I'm not just sitting here staring at the screen. So it is worthwhile for me to be present on Saturdays. And that's for both the student and the parents to realize. All right. So strategies. So the first set of strategies are more of participation, geared toward participation. So popsicle sticks. Some of these you may have heard of. Some of you may not have. So I'm going to run through all of them. This is when you write students' names on the end of popsicle sticks. You can even show them your jar through your video camera. And you can pick the names, and that will allow you to pick names randomly. You could have 3 different jars if you have 3 different grade levels so that you know, okay, first I'm going to pick someone from 5th grade. Then I'll pick someone from 6th grade. Next, my next person will be someone from 7th grade. And then once you pick the sticks, you put them to the side so you know you've already chosen that student. So students will be attentive. They know that they might get picked randomly that day. You don't have to use this technique every single day. But it's just something different, a way to engage the students and pick them at random. So students aren't saying also, she never picks me or he never picks on me. You can separate by grade level. You can separate by last name, whatever way you would like. Strategy 2, video camera participation. So I saw the Quran teachers, junior high Quran teachers using this. It was really cute. It worked really well. They had like 65 or so students in the class, and throughout the class, about half of them did not have their video cameras on. But when they went to this activity, I noticed that some of the students who didn't have their video cameras on before, they were turning them on to participate, which was awesome. So what you do is you tell everyone to turn off their camera. And again, keep in mind the age level of your students. You know, this might work better for older students, and I understand that. There are some ideas here for younger students as well. You know, everyone turn off your cameras and you ask a question. Turn on your cameras if this statement is true. There are 6 pillars of Islam, and then students would turn on their cameras or keep them off. And then you can discuss, and then you tell everyone, okay, everyone turn off your cameras again, we'll do another one. And this allows everyone to participate, like I was talking about before, not just a select few that you're choosing. Thumbs up, thumbs down. This is a way to have students participate for quick answers when you don't need something verbal or you don't need an answer in the chat. Give me a thumbs up if you understand, what I said, or give me a thumbs down, whatever the question is. Again, this is a way for everyone to participate. It's also a way that you get students to turn their cameras on because they're excited to participate. They're all, being active. It's not just a few students. Multiple choice questions. So tell students at the beginning of class to tear up a piece of paper into 3 parts and write A, B, and C really big on each. Model this request. Don't just tell them to do it and then you're looking at the screen and you're like, your A's, your letters are too small, I can't read them. Maybe you tell them if you have index cards, that's a good size. And you show them your index cards with the letters A, B, and C written really big and bold in Sharpie. And then you put multiple choice questions, and maybe they're throughout your, lecture, but you have 2 multiple choice questions in between and say, okay, let's pause and let's kind of review and recap. And you put up the multiple choice questions. Everyone turns on their videos. They put up A, B, or C to get their answer. And then you as a teacher, make sure you discuss. It's not just a matter of asking the question and moving on. Take a look at it and say, I see majority of you, answered A, that's great, that's right. Or, half of you answered A, half of you answered C, let's talk about this, and that's important for you as a teacher too. Did you as a teacher not present the material properly? That could be the issue. Maybe the issue is at the student side. We don't know. But it's important for you to think about these things as you're teaching as well, and maybe modify the next time around. Again, allows everyone to participate. 2 truths and a lie. Okay, so I said, don't call it a lie. That might not be appropriate, but you can call it a false fact. One idea I had for Arabic classes is you could put 3, some of the Arabic letters have different forms depending on where they are in the word, right? At the beginning, the middle, or the end. So you could put 3 different forms. One could be completely made up. And then you ask, you can pick on a student and you can ask them, or you can number them, 1, 2, and 3, which one is false. And so they pick out the 2 truths or they pick out the false one. All right, so those are like participation ideas. Here are some activity ideas to do with your actual lesson, your topic, and what you're discussing. So number 1, you can make it interesting. So let's say your topic has something to do with that you can kind of incorporate students' likes and dislikes or their activities. Why don't you could ask a question on Google Classroom and have students answer prior to class so you can get all that data and feedback and cater your lesson to them. And then next area, choose some of the answers. Okay, right. And then you can also announce who mentioned them to show you are reading their answers and that you care. Again, you're adding value. You're showing the students that you're reading what they wrote and that obviously you care about what they wrote. You're taking it into account. And making things interesting increases motivation, and that's been scientifically found. Creating learning stations. So we've done this before in the classroom where you have 3 different stations, students rotate. You can still do this online. Again, it might be for the older students, but you need to clearly lay out the plan. Today, we're going to do learning stations. We will meet, you'll do each learning station for 5 minutes, and then at the end, we'll get together for 10 minutes, and I'll call on a few people to discuss each learning station. So the first learning station is reading. All of our 5th graders will start with the first reading station. The second reading station is looking at this Quranic verse. The third station is watching a short YouTube video and answering this question. And that's for the 7th graders. And the 6th graders will do the Quranic verse, or, whatever grade levels you have. And then you tell them, you can put a timer on your screen if you have those. And when 5 minutes is up, you say, okay, now fifth grade move to second, number two, and so on and so forth. And have them do a little assignment so they're accountable for what they're supposed to be watching or reading. They could even read pages in their workbooks or their lesson books as well. Again, if anyone has any questions about any of these right now, feel free to unmute and ask. Kahoot, I think many of you know about this game. Again, this was probably for older students because you need a separate device other than your computer to play. But this is great for a review. Students love it. I know they play it a lot, but it's still a way to engage all of them. It's different. And it takes a lot of skill actually, because you kind of have to match up. I forgot how it works, but you kind of have to match up the question with the colors on your phone. And so it gets confusing and causes them to use a little bit more brain power, which is good. Quizlet. This is an online program where you can make flashcards. So if there are terms in Islamic studies or Quran or maybe in Arabic too, if you can make them in Arabic, I have no idea. But you could tell your students to make flashcards, in chapters 1, 2, and 3. This can work for younger kids too, second grade and higher. You could even make a Quizlet and screen share and then kind of, quiz the students on the vocab. And then what it is, it's like a flashcard and you click on it and it flips and tells you the actual meaning. So you can make them and then use that as your presentation for part of your class as well. Play Hangman. I went online. I created this link. If you clicked on it, it's Hangman for the word sadaqah. So if you want to do a fun game at the end, you can make your own Hangman, save the link, and then put it in your presentation, obviously, and click on it at that point. But again, that only allows for select students to play, but it is something different. Scavenger hunt. So I know kids love online scavenger hunts. This is when you tell the students to search for something in their home that relates to the topic. So you might say, find a Quran. You might have everyone go running and come back with the Quran. Okay, and it might just be, everyone find one and come back. It might be a race where you have one person per grade level. You could also do, just two random students, a boy and a girl, and have them race against each other. Again, remember, you want to try to engage as many students as you can. So, to choose one or two students, you're not going to be able to engage as many. Find something written in Arabic. Other ideas are, if you're talking about health, what is one thing in your house that promotes positive mental health? You could do so much with these scavenger hunts, and then you can do random stuff too if you're just having a fun activity at the end of class. A video post. So do you have too much material, or maybe you didn't get to finish your teaching? Well, it's awesome that we're online because you can videotape yourself and post it. Maybe you just didn't finish a topic. Maybe you just started it and said, I will post the rest of this topic online, so that watch this post and then you should be able to effectively complete all the homework. Or maybe you'll tell the students at the end of your class, this week I'm going to post a short video of myself. I want you to watch that video for homework. That's all your homework is, but you need to watch it prior to the next class. So that gets a jump into your next class. You're not taking up too much time talking about another lesson. You're just kind of reviewing and having that bridge to your next idea or topic. I think I discussed everything here. Hokey pokey or a movement activity. So hokey pokey was one, simple song, but for the younger kids, if there are songs that get them to stand up and move, is great. A lot of times say, okay, you can take a break, go to the bathroom. But during that time, you as a teacher, you might still be there. You can play along with the kids that are still there. Play some sort of game, go through the steps of wudu together. I can, if you're interested in this, I can try to think of ideas based on your topic of what you can do. You can even call it an exercise day. Every Saturday that we meet, the last break will be an exercise break. And so you can say, let's do jumping jacks or let's do burpees or whatever you want to do. Okay, I think this is my last slide, and there's a lot of information on this one slide, but this is a great activity. There's lots of different choices here, 7. So at the beginning of class, and this could be every week if you want, you tell the students that, you need to pay attention because there's information in this class that you need to complete an activity at the end of this class that needs to be submitted by noon today. So after school ends, they still have some time to finish it. So some of the ideas are here, just simple questions. What did I learn? What does it mean? Now what? Those type of reflections. You can tell them to write it in their notebook, take pictures, or you can tell them, you need to post in the stream. And you also need to respond to someone else's post. There might be 2 parts to the assignment. Number 2, let students tweet it out so you can pretend that they're tweeting. I have a Twitter account, never used it, but I guess you have to post in like 140 characters or less. So maybe tell them you have to post in, I don't know if that's words or letters, but anyways, 140 words or less. They have to write a response. Number 3, try the 1-minute paper. Give students 1 minute to write a paper describing what they learned. This could be, this can be for Islamic studies. It could be for Quran. It can also be for Arabic. I mean, you can do this and just tweak it for any subject area. Try sketch notes. Let students jot a drawing with notes to explain their thinking. Definitely, this is great. Number 4 is great for the younger students. If you do this every week and tell them, in your notebook, every week at the end of class, we're going to spend the last 5 minutes. You're going to draw a picture of what we talked about, and then you're going to write a little bit about it if you know how to write, obviously. Some of those kids are too little. How about video reflection? So, this is the day and age of tech. Have them record themselves and post a video with their reflection. Use Google Forms. Maybe they create a form maybe you create a form that they have to complete at the end. Some might be, factual questions. Some might be reflection questions. And then differentiate your reflections. So again, remember, we have different grade levels. We have different genders, a lot of variety in terms of race in our classes. You can open it up to 2 or 3 choices, at the end. You can either do A, B, or C, but this needs to be done by 12:30 today. So that gets students to pay attention in class and get their work done right away in terms of their homework assignments. So I think I've gone through all of the slides that I have. Does anyone have any questions? No, there's a lot of...
Assalamualaikum.
Welcome, Assalam.
This is Al-Falah, a level 1 Arabic teacher. Actually, I have one question regarding the break. Do I have to give a break to my class since we only have 15 minutes for the class?
So here's what I would say. I would definitely say yes.
Okay.
The break does not have to be 5 minutes long.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it can be okay. It can be 2 minutes. Just something, okay, before we move to our activity, I want everyone to stand up and do 5 jumping jacks and sit down. It can be that much, but it's an opportunity for students to move their eyes off of the screen, to just move their body around and then get back in and focus again.
All right. And when do you think is the best time? Like if we start 9, is 9:30 okay? Or like 5 minutes before we finish with the class, during the...
Yeah, no, great question. So for younger students, every 10 minutes is what is recommended. Every 10 minutes to stop and give them a little break. And maybe the break is just a slide that tells a joke. Maybe you just post a joke and say, it's joke time, and now we'll get back. Just help to take your lesson and divide it up into 10-minute chunks. and then, put a little 1-minute break in between. Because especially at that youngest age, they cannot sit and concentrate for that long.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Other questions or maybe other ideas that I don't have here? Anyone, seen anything in their child's classroom or at their own schools? No? Okay. One other thing I wanted to mention is that, effectively use either your TAs in the class, or I know I saw Sister Fatima teach last week. She did a great job, Masha, with, working with her TA. I know junior high is a little bit different, but for the young elementary and elementary, work with the other teachers. Whoever's presenting is presenting. The other teacher should be in charge of choosing students or managing the chat. So I think if the other teachers are in charge of that, they would be better judges of choosing kids effectively and appropriately, like choosing different grade levels, making the same child isn't chosen, multiple times, that sort of thing. Like basically being able to keep track of who was chosen to participate already. And then mix it up. The first time you choose someone, it might be with popsicle sticks. The second time might be a thumbs up question. The third time might be a video question, something like that. Mix up your method of participation. That helps too. Variety. Variety is the spice of life. Any other questions? Ideas? All right, Jazakallah khair everyone for being here. I hope this helped. Again, if you need any clarification on any of these, please do reach out. We'll post this again and post the video too. If you have your lesson plan, feel free to go to your team lead or Sister Fakhra or I and get some feedback. And we'll be in and out of the classrooms too to help you with that. This is a completely new arena. I'm doing more research on the best, practices and methods for online teaching. So, please don't be offended if we, approach you, team leads approach you and, offer some suggestions or new ideas. All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Jazakallah khair.